Okay, a little over a year ago, I set up this position, and I named it PaskoGammon after Jim Pasko, who is one of the great players of all time and a fantastic backgame player, and just loves to play the game and does it about as well as anybody. I would put him up against anybody in the world, and he has played. Uh, Last week, he played against Victor Ashkenazi and Mochi, obviously two of the best players in the world. And I think they went to about a draw. Maybe Jim lost a point. It was close in a couple of games. But he can compete with anybody at this, and it's a great fun exercise. But it's also a really good way to learn how to play back games. So I'm going to just give you a demonstration. You can't go by what XG says or does. It doesn't fully understand how to play these deep back games. The cube is nuts, but it's really fun, and we actually played a round robin competition at Jim Pasko's house the other night. I mentioned Victor and Mochi. We also had Michi and Akiko and myself, and some of the best players in the world were there. And it got down to Victor and Mochi in the finals, and they split. After taking my money and everybody else's. Oh, yeah, Jorgen Granstedt was also in our group playing at Jim's house, and three-time world champion. So we had quite a field, and rather than just play backgammon, we played PaskoGammon. So let me show you how the game works. Red is on roll, and he can roll doubles or anything. He starts out this way, and usually we play for money. Or as a money game, and then after you play red the next game, you play blue. You take turns. In our tournament, we played 7-point matches, and we played whoever chose first game which side they would play. The other player got to choose whether they would play the blue, the back game side, or red, the foregame side. Now, what we found when you play this enough, often red ends up in the back game. Because if red tries to go forward, he ends up giving blue a beautifully well-timed back game. So sometimes he's forced to go into a back game. But just to show you the kind of fun it is, and you can learn a lot from Extreme Gammon. Although it's not perfect, it makes a lot of great moves and still is better than most people. Not better than Jim Pasko. He's been playing it from both sides against Extreme Gammon and killing it. But most people would have a problem against Extreme Gammon, and you would learn a lot. And it gets down to really interesting positions. Let me just give you a sample. I'm going to play against Extreme Gammon. I'll take the red side. Doesn't really matter which one because it's fun to watch how it's played. And let's see, play from position. And I'll be player 1, and I'll make Extreme Gammon player 2. I'll put Extreme Gammon at a fairly high level, about the highest level you can have without doing rollouts. And let's see what happens. So I roll. You can start out with doubles. This is pretty easy play, I would think. I don't think too many people would play anything other than that. I can cube. And Extreme Gammon, I think, would cube here too. And yes, blue can time this game and win, but you have to activate gammons. We're playing with the Jacobi rule. So I'm going to go ahead and give the cube. Let's see what happens here. Double.
Double. Drop.
Extreme Gammon drop. Jim Pasko would never drop this cube, and a lot of players would never drop this cube. But let's just take a look at the cube action here real quick. This wasn't much of a thing to look at. Let's go back to the cube and see what the equities are. And yeah, pretty big drop. You get gammon 41% of the time. You only win 31% of the time. Even with gammon's worth 0.5, it's a huge pass. But again, I'm sure Pasko would take this cube, play me, and beat me much of the time. I'm going to hit Control V, start another game, and just so that we don't have that situation of it ending with the cube, I'll play it as a DMP, match play, DMP. There's no cube, and by the way, I've often played it this way, but you still win gammons and backgammons. Let's try it from here. Set up, play from position. Player 1 against Extreme Gammon, and I'll play against the higher level. And we're playing DMP. There will be no cube. All right, I'm going to play a 4 and a 5. I'm going to hit again. twice. How am I going to stop him from timing this game? What kind of a game am I going to play? Try to make an outside prime and try and get these checkers into play on my 6 point is one of the major strategies. So one way I can do that is hitting loose and getting that unstacked and getting those checkers into play and having a more robust game. Here's another way to get a checker into play. Let's see if I can do it this way instead of covering. I certainly don't want to go forward with this game, but I may be forced to. How am I going to defeat a 1-2-5 back game? Well, let's find out. Maybe I will get lucky, and now's a good time to hit and do some recirculation. He's not cooperating. He's just playing his well-timed game and going to make his board and get the shot later and stick it to me. It's fun playing and defending back games. It's a whole different approach to the game. By the way, here's what I did. I make a move and I wanted to take it back. You can hit this or you can right click. I have a video, by the way, costs $25. Will teach you how to set up and use Extreme Gammon, and I donate the money to the International Collegiate Backgammon Scholarship Fund. So email me if you're interested in that video, and you'll learn a lot about how to play with Extreme Gammon, a lot of tools and tricks. Let's just play safe and see what happens. Maybe you get lucky. 6-5. That's not bad. Double threes is not good. These are the kind of things that are going to cost you. For money, I would have dropped the cube there. But you get the idea, and then you switch sides and with a cube along the way. I think it is more fun. In New Zealand, they had their country's championship a couple of months ago, and for the consolation division, they played Extreme Gammon. I can still win this game. You've seen it many times. A 6 and a 2. He misses here. Whoops, he hit the wrong checker. Oh, he got me. Alright, this game is history and was kind of a boring game for Extreme Gammon, but I hope you get the idea. Give it a try. Remember the setup. I'll show you the setup again. I hit Control V. I had already hit Control C to save it. Here's the setup. You start this way every time and take turns. So there you have it, PaskoGammon. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon. I'm on my way to LA this next weekend. I'll be lecturing and playing in the tournament there. And then in New York, Mochi and I are doing a boot camp. And Washington, D.C. The Cherry Blossom is a new, really exciting event they're having for top players, a $3,000 entry fee. I can't wait to watch these guys play. I'm not going to enter it. And that'll be in April. And we'll see you there. Bye-bye.